What's up, everybody? This is the Sports League Podcast, back for another week. I'm your host, Alex League. We got the co-host, Amanda, back as always.
Always good to be here and so excited to talk. We've had some big news stories this week, so it's going to be interesting.
It's been a crazy week one of the season, and it's awesome that's finally here. And we've got the legend, two-time NFL head coach, Hue Jackson. Hugh, great to have you back on.
Hey, glad to be here. Like you guys said, there's a lot going on in the National Football League.
Absolutely. Stories everywhere. Amanda, lead us off. What do you want to talk about first?
Oh man. First and foremost, Alex talked a big game last week about how this was his comeback year. I only had two picks wrong the whole week, guys. 14 out of 16. Alex had 6 games wrong. So
I'll bounce back in week 2. Don't worry about it, guys.
he says this every week. We know how this goes. Anyway, so just to start the season off on the right foot. I'm right, Alex is wrong. No, so I think first we got to talk about the game last night. Hugh, as someone who has worked closely with quarterbacks who have histories of injuries, how do you feel about Tua? I've seen a couple people come out and say that he should retire at this point. I mean, that's 3 concussions over 3 seasons. What would your recommendation be for Tua?
I don't know that I would recommend it. I think it's hard for a coach to make a recommendation. I think we would all get all the information that is needed, but I think the young man needs to prioritize his health and his family over everything. It's hard to do when there's this astronomical amount of money that's involved, but at the same time, your life is more important than anything. So I would think the young man himself is going to make what I think is the right decision for him moving forward. It's just because these concussions look so bad, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
I
not.
noticed he
Yeah,
like it looks like he has a seizure after his
yeah,
last 2 concussions. You see the convulsions. My nephew was born
yes.
having seizures, and some of them are very subtle, but those full body convulsions are very concerning.
And that's what's scary. I think to all that's watching, that's where everybody's concern is. I'm sure his family's concern is, which is first and foremost. His teammates, the people who were watching the game, that were there at the game, just to have to witness that's very frightening. But it's a violent game. We all know that. And these guys putting their lives on the line every time they go out there and play. So I would hope that he does prioritize his health over what is football.
Yeah, and I mean the person he ran into that caused the injury, Damar Hamlin, I mean, oh, that man is just sick with worry because I mean it
Yes.
wasn't a dirty hit. He didn't do
No.
anything wrong. I mean, Tua technically ran into him. Like it was a perfectly clean play, but like having been there and
Hmm.
been injured and been through this and worked his way back to making these big plays and stuff, man, that's gotta suck for him too.
Amanda, think about what you just said. Damar Hamlin, who we witnessed something very tragic happen on the field, who made it back and is playing and tackles a guy who is now in convulsions from a concussion. Whatever that other word term is, I don't know. That is very traumatic for a lot of people.
I'm surprised he wasn't puking on the field after it happened,
Hmm.
honestly, because I would have been.
It's crazy. I hope that he doesn't retire because, I hope he gets a clean bill of health. Like the doctors check him out and they're like, you're good. The scary part is it's not like this was a targeting hit. It's not like it was helmet to helmet. It was just
Hmm.
really a football play.
Yeah.
Right.
And so that's the scary part. But I think it's got to be hard for Tua to walk away. Like you said, the money, the fans, unfinished business in Miami, and that loaded offense around him. It'd be so hard to retire knowing you got Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, all these weapons around you. You feel like it's unfinished business. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. But I just hope that he gets a clean bill of health. I wouldn't recommend retire unless the doctors tell him to.
Absolutely, Alex, but you said it. I mean, it's the money and all those things are so big, right? And nobody, I think, wants to see him retire. Even the guys who retire don't want to retire. When you really think about it, they don't want to retire neither. So I think it's going to be a tough decision, but I hope he makes a decision that's best and right for his health and for his family.
And I wish I was watching the game last night, and it sucks that he got hurt because I wish we could come on here and just talk about the play
Right.
because he was struggling up until that point, and it was very surprising when he had 3 interceptions and was down big at home to the
Hmm.
Bills. The biggest thing to me that stands out is the Bills look really good, and they came in with a chip on their shoulder last night, and they're out to a 2-0 start. But that was a statement win last night, huh?
No, it was, but I give, a lot went on this week
Yeah,
in Miami, obviously with Tyreek Hill's situation,
that's
there's a
true.
lot of distractions that went on. I mean, again, the Tua that we know doesn't throw 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
He plays in rhythm, he plays unbelievably, and it just looked like a whole different quarterback, looked like a different Dolphins football team last night. So again, it's disheartening to watch something happen like that happened. But at the same time, like you said, I wish we were just talking about the game, but that's not the way this business goes.
Amanda, your boy James Cook looks pretty good in that Bills offense, so he went crazy last.
I'm real annoyed we used the let Russ cook thing already because let James cook just it works so well. I'm so annoyed we wasted that. We wasted that on Russell Wilson. I mean that game was dirty. They played so well, and I love the Bills, and I've had some questions about them not replacing players over the years. And I don't know if it's just me. Does anyone else forget Von Miller exists on a week to week basis for some reason? Like, I mean, oh yeah, he does still play. Like for some reason, my mind just wants him, just thinks he's retired. But it was nice to see some of these older veteran players that have kind of faded into the woodwork a little bit show up and I mean show out. We had some great plays. Jalen Ramsey had a couple solid stops. I mean, James Cook is impossible to stop. But it was really good to see the Bills coming together and using some of those new weapons that they've brought in through the draft because we kept waiting for a big trade, a big name to come in, and they didn't really do too much. So I'm excited that they're still as productive as they are, and that defense looks beautiful.
Great 2-0 start. Let's get into picks. We got a short episode, so we got to kind of fly through this thing. Um, Hugh, we'll get your picks this week if you're feeling it.
I'm feeling it.
All
Okay.
right, 1-0 Saints at the 1-0 Cowboys. I'm riding with Dallas and that defense, like you talked about last week, Hugh. That Mike Zimmer defense came to play and beat the Browns down. I expect them to do the same thing to the Saints offense. Saints defense is good. I got the Cowboys by like double digits, I think, here.
Absolutely. I'm going to go with the Cowboys. I think Mike Zimmer's on to something. He's cooking that defense, and he's got a lot of utensils to cook with, and that's what he's
Yeah,
doing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm with you guys on this one. Yeah, the Saints looked good last week, but they played the Panthers. So I think that might have fluffed up that score a little bit. So I expect Dallas to pull this one off at home.
Amanda, I'm interested in your pick here. Bucks 1-0 Bucks at the 1-0 Lions. They played twice last year. Detroit won both times. A great playoff game though that came down to the wire. And I know you have love for Baker Mayfield.
I do. If this was in Tampa, I'm like 51-49% on this one. If it was in Tampa, I'd probably be rolling with the Bucks here. I mean, it's a rematch of the playoff game. The Lions pulled that one off last year. It was close. And I do think the Bucks have improved since last year, but their secondary is pretty banged up after this last weekend. So I think I got to pick Detroit at home. But Baker Mayfield is pretty feisty this year. He looks ready to prove something. So I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be scrappy, and I'm excited for this one.
Nice. So you're picking Detroit?
Yeah.
All right.
I
Hugh,
don't
you
want to, but
are you riding with the Lions
I'm
as
with
well?
Amanda again. I'm picking Detroit, even though obviously I'd love to see the Bucks do some good. Baker's leading the league in touchdown passes already after week 1 with 4. But they do have too many injuries. I think heading into the second game, I don't think they're at full strength. I do expect them to play as well as they can, but I just think Detroit has a little too much.
I'm going to ride with my heart here and not my head. I'm going to go Tampa Bay on the road. I love picking against the Lions. That's my favorite thing to do. And I'm just going to hope for a multiple turnover Jared Goff game. That's really the key to beating the Lions. So hopefully Baker throws another 4 touchdowns, and because they're going to need to put up some points to beat Detroit for sure. Amanda, how about your Packers?
Oh man, so it's weird to me that they just listed Jordan Love as questionable 2 hours ago. Like we know he's not like
He's not
it's
playing.
he's out. They already said he's gonna miss 3 to 6 weeks, and they just listed him as questionable. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on behind the scenes here. Like, is there a chance he could actually be playing with this MCL sprain? So I'm real confused what's going on. I do not think Malik Willis is ready to go and start a game yet. So I'm gonna pick the Colts here. But at home in Lambeau, I mean, we've seen miracles happen, so who knows? But I think I gotta roll with the Colts.
Hugh,
Well,
if Malik,
I'm
if,
I'm going against the grain. I'm gonna go with the pack, and not because Jordan Love's playing. I just think when I watch a quarterback go 9 for 19 in his first game, that tells me something. And he's not really ready. I think he's very talented, talking about Richardson, but I
Yeah.
just think there's still something missing. So this could be, Amanda, that 3 interception game that gives the pack a chance to win, and all Malik got to do is not mess it up. Just play complimentary football, hand the ball off, move in the pocket, throw some balls, and they got a good chance to win.
Man, now I'm torn. I don't know which way to go here, but I'm gonna go Colts. I am an Anthony Richardson fan. I think they'll put up enough points to get it done. I liked Malik Willis coming out of college, but he's had a couple opportunities now and hasn't really taken control. Uh, and so I could see some turnovers from him. I got to lean Indy here, but in Green Bay, that's going to be a good. I think that'll be a sneaky good game actually. But I'm going to go Colts.
Yeah,
Uh,
I trust the
yeah,
Green Bay defense, and they're gonna rally around the young end, like they're gonna, try to support Malik. But I don't know. The Colts had some good plays last week, but I'm
yeah.
not. Week one is such a weird week for the Packers. I never know if they're gonna look the same going into week two and three. So I'm gonna stick with the Colts, but I like Hugh's pick. So if I'm wrong, I'll be stoked. So
um, let's go 0-1 Jets at the 0-1 Titans. Interesting game here. Hugh, how are you seeing this game? Jets at Titans.
I think it's going to be a heck of a football game. I think you talking about two teams that are looking for a win. I think it's week 2 of Aaron Rodgers being
Yeah.
back, playing a little bit more consistently, understanding, exactly what the offense can do at a high level. I'm going to go with the Jets.
Me too. The Titans were pretty competitive against my Bears, and they were up 17-0. But then they blew it, had some turnovers. Uh, in Aaron Rodgers, I trust. I think the Jets are the better team, and they can go. If this is in Tennessee, yeah, I think they'll go in there and get a road win. Do you agree, Amanda?
I do. This one's weird because we saw the teams look very different. So both tough losses for them, but the Jets defense was a mess. Like their offense actually looks pretty good. Like Aaron Rodgers had some great passes. But the Titans offense didn't look great either. So we need to see an improvement on one side of the ball here. And I mean, Will Levis has always been a big question mark for me. So I'm gonna roll with Aaron Rodgers here just because I don't know if Will Levis can step it up enough because we know the Jets have a good defense. Last week
Defense.
they didn't really click. But we know they have a lot of talent on defense, so I think the Jets will pull this one off, even on the road.
Mhm.
All right, 1-0 49ers at the 1-0 Vikings. Sam Darnold against his former team. The Vikings beat the 49ers last year. Uh, Amanda, do you think they can do it again?
No,
So
it's
they
just
do play.
there's too much up in the air with the Vikings right now. I mean, Sam Darnold is not Kirk Cousins. He ain't no Kirk O'Chains, Like I just don't think the momentum is with the Vikings coming to this matchup this year.
Yeah. Do you agree, Hugh? I think that Niners defense.
Absolutely. I second that for sure.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Niners as well. And it's easy to pick against the North teams. But Sam Darnold, he looks good in week one. He's got to continue to prove it to me. And so this is a great opportunity for Sam Darnold to prove the haters wrong if he can pull off this win against a great defense. But he's got to prove it to me first.
Mhm.
1-0 Seahawks at the 1-0 Patriots. Surprising win for New England in week one. I don't see them getting off to a 2-0 start. If they do, it'll be crazy. but I got to go Seahawks on the road here. You agree, Amanda?
I haven't made a pick for this one yet. I mean, it's a road trip for Seattle. They did upset the Bengals last week, but I don't think the Bengals remembered they had a game. They just didn't seem to show up for some reason. The Patriots defense looked good.
Good.
And I mean, I know their front is pretty I don't Seattle's O-line concerns me. But I think I have to pick Seattle here just because it's the Patriots and I think last week was just a miracle for them, honestly. But Seattle has a lot of talent. I'm just not seeing them click. And we talked about this last week too. Like I don't know what's missing, but they don't seem cohesive and it's making me crazy because I can't figure out what it is.
What do you think,
It's in
Hugh?
it's in Foxborough. I'm going with the Patriots.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it. The defense played so well. No one saw that coming, losing or beating the Bengals last week. So
Yeah.
anything's possible. But I just can't comprehend this Patriots team looking at the roster, starting 2-0. It's like they play so much better than their roster.
Yeah. Well, the
Good
Bengals were really
coaching.
bad. Like
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, was it because the Bengals were so bad, or did the Pats just play well? Like that
yeah,
game was
man.
confusing to me.
Yeah.
Perspective.
Giants at Commanders. Both teams 0-1. Jaden Daniels against a really good Giants D line. Will Daniel Jones throw the game away? How do we see this one going? I'm going to go Commanders just based on Jaden Daniels, but that D line can get after you. So maybe he'll be running for his life. I'm going to go Commanders like 16-13. What do you think, Hugh?
I think I'm going with the Commanders. Jay Daniels gets his first win, and he
Right.
will run away from that defensive line.
All right, cool.
Same. I think he's going to be taking a lot more on himself this week, and I think we're going to see some heavy rushing yards from Jaden Daniels.
No one's trusting Daniel Jones, huh? On the road?
Mm-mm. Don't make it
Chargers.
awkward. We don't want to talk shit about the kid, but like, don't.
Chargers at Panthers. Uh, Carolina looks so bad. Hugh, what is wrong with the Panthers? And Bryce Young is looking pretty bad. Like, I don't know what to think about this Panthers team right now.
I'm very disappointed. I thought there'd be more there. That's
Yeah,
why you go out and make the changes you make. They look worse,
yeah,
and I'm surprised. But I think the Chargers get win number 2.
yeah. Jim
Yeah.
Harbaugh seems to be working his magic already.
Hmm.
I'm going Chargers as well, Amanda.
Yeah, I mean, the Panthers were bad last week, and now they lost their best defensive player. Derek Brown's out. So it's not like they're going to improve.
Excellent point. 0-1 Browns at the 0-1 Jags. Two teams that cannot afford to start 0-2. Jacksonville's at home. They blew an opportunity to win that game against Miami. They should have won that one. I think the Jags get it right, get to 1-1. We'll see about this Browns team. If they start 0-2, things could come undone over there pretty quickly. Hugh, how are you feeling about the Browns going into Jacksonville? They have to look better than week 1, right?
Jags.
Yeah.
I don't. I just think that's the Jags need to win. They're at home. The Browns got to travel. They would look very bad last week. I don't even think the 2 tackles are back again this week. So it's going to be tough against that rush from the Jaguars.
And Deshaun Watson's mindset, he's got a new lawsuit coming up, more drama, more bad press. I know we talked about Tua a little bit and how that game looked. I mean, it was a lot about mindset and what's going on with the team off the field shows how much they're affected on the team. I mean, Tua's not a 3 interception kind of guy, but this game, I love the Browns, but I can't pick them here, especially not in Jacksonville. So I'm picking the Jags here too.
I'm excited to see Trayvon Walker starting to produce. He had 2 sacks in week 1. Maybe he's in for a career year for Jacksonville. So let's go Jags over there. Raiders at Ravens. I think this is a get right game for Baltimore. They're not going to start 0-2. They're at home. Give me the Ravens. You agree, Hugh?
Absolutely. It's hard for me to pick against the Raiders, but they didn't play very well last week, after a lot of changes. Defense did play well early. Offense, didn't play as well. They had chance to make it happen, and so I just think it's going to be the Ravens win.
Yep. You agree, Amanda?
Yeah,
The Raiders.
there's nothing I can say to like argue or I think the Ravens are trying to get back on top.
I want to root for the Raiders. I don't understand the Luke Getsy hire. I don't get that. And you've already handcuffed with Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell, and then you go hire Luke Getsy. I don't get that. I'm rooting for Antonio Pierce. I love that defense, but the offense, I can't get past it. You let Josh Jacobs go. I don't know.
A quick sidebar, Hugh. How do you feel about Antonio Pierce coming out and saying that he thinks Tua's coaches should tell him to retire? Like he was one of the first people to take an actual stance on that and publicly say something as someone who's currently working in the NFL. So I was kind of surprised by that.
I was surprised by it, but then I'm not because, Antonio is outspoken and he's played the National Football League. He's witnessed, multiple concussions from players, and I'm sure himself. So that's probably where it was coming from. But I was surprised that he said it because most NFL coaches won't say that.
Yeah, most of them are like, oh, I'm sure he'll do what's right for him. Like very
Right.
PC answers, but he was like, no, he should retire.
Right.
You should tell him to retire. I was like, okay.
Are they
Like,
on the
he's
Raiders?
ballsy. We know
Is
he's
the Raiders
ballsy.
supposed to play them this year? Are they on the schedule? I don't know.
Maybe that's why.
Nice. Ulterior motives going on over here.
0-1 Rams at the 0-1 Cardinals. No Puka Nakua. He's on IR, out 4 weeks. I think the Rams go into St. Louis, or into St. Louis. The Rams go into Arizona.
Good one, Alex.
And I think
That's
the
okay. I
Rams
said Redskins this week, so I'm not even going to talk shit.
San Diego Chargers is the worst one. You have to be past San Diego now.
I was living in San Diego when they moved. It was a whole thing. It took forever to adjust, man.
Rams at Cardinals, Hugh. I'm going to go Rams, but this is a tough game. The Cardinals could pull it out.
I'm going to do it again. I picked the Cardinals last week. They
I
were
picked
up.
the Cardinals.
It disappointed me that they didn't finish.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're on to something. I did not like what Kyler Murray said. I'll be the first to say that about Marvin Harrison. It is his job to get that ball to Marvin Harrison. Period. Yeah. That's why they drafted Marvin Harrison. So you can have a guy to throw the ball to. So something's amiss there. But I hope they get it squared away this week so that the Cardinals go win.
Yeah, I like that he said something because it highlighted that there was an issue. So the coaches were all over that. Like, no, y'all gonna work your shit out. We're not, like, parents have those like get along t-shirts where they put the two kids in the big baggy t-shirt and make them sit there until they work out their that's what they did. They put them in a room together and made them hash it out. I mean, the Rams have been owning the Cardinals 13 out of their last 15 matchups. The Cardinals had a little glimmer of something last week, and I mean, the Rams have a banged up offensive line this week. So I'm gonna roll with the Cardinals here, which is weird for me because I don't have a lot of faith in the Cardinals over the past couple seasons, but I got a feeling this week.
He should just force feed Marvin Harrison like 15 targets this week.
Yep.
Like
he's there. Give him the ball.
He should have him.
Absolutely. 1-0 Steelers at the 0-1 Broncos. No Russell Wilson for the going up against his former team. So Justin Fields gets another start against Bo Nix and the Broncos. I haven't really thought about this one much. Amanda, where are you leaning here?
Steelers on consecutive road games, so I kind of want to pick the Broncos, but Bo Nix did not look great last week. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. We know what Justin Fields can do. We've seen it. Not the best, but I think he's pretty steady. So I feel like it's going to be low-scoring, but I feel like the Steelers can win. But
yeah, rookie quarterback making his second start against that Steelers defense. Give me the Steelers like 16-13, something like that. What do you think, Hugh?
I'm going with the Steelers. Fields rush for 2 touchdowns and throws for 2 touchdowns.
Oh, nice. A 4-touchdown game from Fields. I'll be watching for that. 0-1 Bengals at the 1-0 Chiefs. Bengals coming off a bad loss, but in Arrowhead against the defending champs, and something's wrong with Cincy. Like, I don't get it. It's a no-show against New England. The offense looked bad. I love to pick against the Chiefs, but I got to go Kansas City here. The Bengals have shown me nothing to made me want to pick them. What do you think, Amanda?
I mean, I made the chart for our picks last week, and this was the only game I put the winner on the chart before the games were even played last week. Like it was already Chiefs. I mean, the Bengals were bad. They lost to the Patriots. Like I there's nothing I can say to defend them. They generally play well against the Chiefs though. Like they can
Yeah,
have two crappy games, play the Chiefs, and have a super scrappy back and forth overtime matchup. But they just don't have the firepower right now. They don't have the weapons. They're not clicking. I think Patrick Mahomes is gonna take his fun new toys out for a ride in this game, and it's gonna be bad.
yeah, you agree with that, Hugh? You got Kansas
A-
City?
Absolutely. I mean, Patrick
Uh,
continues to show the league that he is head and shoulders the top quarterback there
yeah,
is anywhere.
yeah, absolutely. Sunday night football, my Bears against the Houston Texans, a tough game. Texans are going to be ready to go on prime time, national TV, show out all their weapons. I expect Caleb Williams to play better and the Bears offense to play better, although they could be down some weapons. Maybe Romo Dunze and Keenan Allen, they might not play. We'll see. Um, but I think Caleb Williams is a better game. The Bears offense plays better, but I still got the Texans winning this one at home. I think they're going to be ready to go. Hugh, you got the Texans?
Absolutely. They continue to show they're one of the better AFC teams.
Yeah,
That the quarterback's one of the other better quarterbacks in the National Football League. Great offensive coordinator, great defense. They'll win the game.
you agree, Amanda?
Yeah, Texans here. I think the Bears are going to have some turnover issues starting the season off. I mean, they've got a lot of young talent, but a lot of mistakes. And the Texans impressed me with their road win last week. So I'm picking the Texans here.
My Bears defense has been the ones forcing turnovers, not giving it away. If Caleb protects the football, that's
But
going to
the
be key.
defense isn't playing offense. So
The- I'll go ahead and say it on the podcast right now. The Bears offense will play better on Sunday Night Football against a better defense too, but they'll play better. Uh,
I'm
week
excited
one
for
is
this matchup
unacceptable.
though. The amount of young talent spread between these two teams,
Yeah,
like
it's
Mhm.
going to be a
I
lot of
I'm
fun.
excited
Yeah,
for this matchup.
yeah,
So I'm interested to see how it goes with Chicago on the road and stuff. First road
yeah.
game for Caleb Williams, a lot of, anti-Chicago crowd noise. So it could go either way, but yeah, I'm picking the home team here against the Rook.
It's a fun game no matter what. Absolutely. And then Monday night, the 0-1 Falcons at the 1-0 Eagles. I expect the Eagles are Super Bowl contenders in my opinion. They fixed the issues that ended their season poorly last year. I expect the Eagles to go on a big run and win 12 or 13 games this year, maybe be the one seed in the NFC. So I got the Eagles winning this one, getting a 2-0. Hugh, does Kirk Cousins and his Falcons team bounce back? They look bad against the Steelers defense.
It will be tough. They're going to Philadelphia, and you said it. That's one of the better teams in the
Yeah,
NFC. I think they're starting to find their stride. They're rested. That's what people fail to realize. They played that game earlier. They're
Friday.
rested, and so they're going to be ready to play. They're going to be hungry to play and hungry to get to 2-0 in that division.
yep.
Yeah,
Amanda?
I'm right there. I mean, I think Kirk Cousins will look better than he did last week, but the Falcons were pretty lifeless in the offense, and the Eagles defense is their team is stacked. Like we talked about how much talent they've accumulated over the past couple seasons, and 2 extra days of rest. I mean, we had a Friday night game. Granted, they had a lot of travel in there with the Brazil game, but I think the Falcons will put up a fight, but I think the Eagles will pull it off.
Yeah, I think the Falcons will look a little better, but give me another 2 touchdowns for Saquon Barkley. Man, the Giants are stupid for how that whole thing went down. And I think he might have a career year in Philly. Like I know he's had some really impressive seasons. Week one he was amazing, and I think he continues to tear it up. So
That sounds like Joe Mixon at the Texans.
Hmm.
yeah, Joe Mixon was a great ad, and
Yeah,
what was
he just needed
simply
to be
let him go.
somewhere where everyone else was as competitive as he is.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, he's never had 30 carries at the Bengals, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken. Maybe
yeah,
close to it, but never 30. That tells you something.
yeah.
yeah,
Mindset
absolutely.
means so much.
Yeah. So I can't wait for week two. The season is just getting started and already so much fun. Hugh, thanks for coming on. Looking
Sure.
forward to talking with you next week. Love to get your picks, and we'll be back on and let you guys know how we did in our picks. Follow along, and don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, let us know what you think. Great job, guys, and peace out.